Okay, guys, here's another thing I did. I started a program called NACA. Don't ask me what the acronyms are. Look it up for yourself. But it's neighborhood association or something. So NACA was started. It actually was birthed back in the 2008 um, when there were predatory lenders that preyed on property owners and those trying to be property owners. NACAS was started as a goal to shut those lenders down, as well as to provide a, a real true relationship with the homeowner, soon to be homeowner, and current homeowners who had suffered and struggled at the hands of predatory lenders and so forth. So I really appreciate this program. Um, so I started NACA. How did I hear about NACA? I heard about NACA from two people. My friend at the time, the one I was saying before, who had just bought her property. She was going through the motions, and I actually felt like I was going through the motions with her because I was so excited she was getting her first house. So I felt like I went through all the motions with her, all the emotions with her. And then another person was my son's father, the ex-husband who didn't believe in buying any properties or anything, waits till we get divorced, and then now he wants to do NACA and get houses. And but I digress. It just goes to show you, listening to people who are mostly pessimistic, it's not good. They'll change their mind soon. But anywho, he also kind of told me a lot about NACA, and just paying a little bit of homage to him, I must say he gave me a lot of information about the program. And that was a time I believe was a pretty great time for him to kind of guide his child's mother on a path of ownership. He told me everything about it. He told me all the bad. And my friend told me all the good. And remember, you need that balance. You need to hear the good and the bad. And so I'm grateful. What NACA did was NACA had these like, ooh, I'm gonna be honest. If you're on Section 8 and you're at zero income, I don't know if NACA is the proper place to go because you have to save money, and if you don't have any income, is going to be kind of trying. But what they did help me do was they have goals that they set for you. Kind of reminded me of the FSS program in Section 8. They have goals they want you to do. They want you to save money. They want you to work on your credit. And so NACA is kind of designed to where you don't have to worry about down payments. You don't have to worry about bad credits. But they want you to kind of give account for your credit. They want you to give account for where's your money. And so I remember with my friend, her rent was what 750 at her current apartment where she was staying at. And so they kind of wanted her to um, they kind of guided her to stay in that realm. Kind of like they do ask you like, how much money do you want to pay per month? But in her case, it was a little easier because she was already paying $750 for rent. Me, on the other hand, I think at this time was I at zero. I believe I was at zero. Remember, I was saving money, but I was at zero. Um, and so, same with my son's father. He was already paying rent somewhere. So it was easier for those who were currently paying rent in an apartment. But again, if you're on Section 8, the goals are pretty brutal when it comes to it. But on a better note, NACA is who kind of prompted and triggered me to work on my credit and do my due diligence with that and try to set goals and meet goals. And they have their own goals and requirements for you to do, you to give back to the neighborhood. So it was setting me on a great path. It was setting me ablaze, a way to prepare for ownership. And I appreciate that so much. What else do I remember about NACA? They give you your own representative that you work with. And even though a lot of people say that, excuse me, my alarm, even though a lot of people say that it takes a long time, I like that NACA kind of created this chase me if you really want it culture because you had to chase them down literally. You had to make their phone calls, you had to blow their phones up. And I like that because it kind of weeds out those who are serious versus those who aren't. It's like, don't waste our time. So I appreciate that a lot. I didn't make it fully on the NACA program. I would say that but by the time I went to the Black Women's Expo and met Janita from Fifth Third, uh, I was pretty ready thanks to NACA. I was already pre approved and I was able to get pre approved and everything. And NACA kind of helped that process go so quick because I kind of knew what to anticipate. I learned a lot of new terms, I did a lot of studying. I was held to some high expectations. And for that, I'm grateful for NACA. Okay, so this one may sound a little redundant to um, listening to advice, right? I didn't mention in the previous talk when I said listen to advice. I actually got advice from a lot of people. I actually looked online to what's the process to get a house and so forth. But I did sit, another point I want to clarify is I sat at the feet of other landlords and owners. So if I can swap what I was saying earlier about listen to advice, that's the part where I met landlords like Elmira and her sister, who was an owner and had several properties, and her other sister, who was a condo owner, and their brother, who was a homeowner. And I don't remember the other brother, but I did kind of sit at their feet. And I remember being in a car with Amira as we were coming back from somewhere. Um, and she pretty much took me under her wing. And as she did, I asked her so many questions. So, how did you do this? And how did you do that? And what was your method for this? And how much? I didn't ask her how much her mortgage was, but she did openly give me some information that blew my socks off. Like she taught me about those row houses, private row houses that you can buy individually. And at the time, she said when she bought hers, she bought one for $3,000 and one for $5,000. Now the one for $3,000, outright, she paid $3,000 for this. I think it's on Winchester on the south side. Um, but she paid a total of $3,000 for a private townhouse. She put a Section 8 tenant in there for $1,200 a month. It was 3 bedrooms. I forgot if it was a basement, but I feel like probably was a basement. And she took me over there to this unit. It was huge to me for a row house. It was huge to me. And it didn't feel like a project row house, it felt like an extended row house, right? And I'll never forget. She said she bought it outright $3,000. And she said, if you think about it, if my tenant has been here for a year, even a year, she's bought my property in only what, 2.5 months? Because 3 months times 12 is 3,600. If she paid $3,000 for their my God. And then the other one was 5,000 up north. She probably gets a little less than that for her rent these days. So she had bought both townhouses with just the Section 8 rent. Well, of course, she had already bought them out, but I don't even know if they have those options these days. But my God. So just sitting at her feet and hearing everything. And she even told me the do's and the don'ts. She explained that if her and her brothers and sisters had got together and really went into real estate, they would have been millionaires by now. So I sat at her feet with that. I sat at her feet with everything. How do you do this and how do you do that? And then when I ran into her sister, well, how did you do this and how did you? Her sister had a part, no, a condo downtown that was so gorgeous. When you walked in, it was only missing a butler and a piano player. It felt so elegant, and for us, it just made my world. It really, again, going back to those signs that you get, right? It just made my little Section 8 world just explode. It just made my thoughts just explode. It was just like, this can be done. She also taught me how they were from green projects. I was like, what? What? She can relate to me. So now God was using people to kind of show me people that I could relate to that was in situations like me to show me it can be done. It can be done. So I did that. I also sat at the feet of other landlords. I sat at the feet of another landlord who was like, it's a lot of work. Oh, what do you mean a lot of work? Give me examples. What do you mean by that? Well, if I have one tenant here and then that tenant doesn't pay rent, I have to pay all of my mortgage, or this one tenant, pays the rent and sometimes they could be late. And I absorbed all of that. Let me see. I talked to other tenants. I mean, not tenants. I'm sorry, landlords. I talked to homeowners. I sat at the feet of so many. I sat at the feet of my friends, both friends. I sat at their feet to see what was it like just to own. What is it like when you have to, take care of your property, your grass, and how much is water and how much is heat and da 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 da. How much was it and blah 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 blah. I just did so much because after a while it was no longer just a dream that I envisioned. It was no longer just a goal. It was like this is becoming real. Let me surround myself by like-minded people or people who are there. When they talk about goals and who your circle involves, it's either people who are where you're trying to go or at your level or a little higher than you. So as you not to get dragged down, or yeah, that's another vlog. But yeah, I sat at the feet of landlords and owners. You want to know something else I did? I mean, do you really want to know something else I did? I studied credit. So, one of the goals that NACA have you do is work on your credit. That now before NACA, yeah, I knew about credit, but I knew, I didn't have much, or so I didn't know. To be honest, I didn't know where I stood at with my credit. I think one time I looked at it and I was just like, you know. But NACA had this. Where they ran your credit, and their goal was to help you even though your credit was low, even though credit didn't matter. They taught you how to be conscious of what your credit score is. And so in hearing that as their goal, I sought out on a mission to study credit, how to build your credit up, how to find your credit score. What do the three different scores mean? What does the three entities mean? How to get it for free? How to get it for paid? What is the difference between um, your credit history and your score and everything? Oh my goodness, this set me ablaze. Guys, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. Guys, I went up 200 points on my credit score by myself and not paying for someone to do it for me. Boom. You can't tell me nothing. Yes, I am going to get a little confident, not arrogant, confident. Because nowadays I do see a lot of credit places that literally try to charge you. And I'm not knocking the places. I'm not knocking them. But there is a way, and I've learned a lot, and I've even taught people myself that you can get your own score up by how you pay your credit cards or your car loan, how you pay off your loans, how you pay down them, how frequently you pay, how much you pay. You don't necessarily have to change the amount that you pay, or you can add an extra payment, or take that $25 a month payment you got to pay and make four or five, no, make three $5 payments and one $10 payment. Just how to maneuver and manipulate it to boost up your score. Guys, I went up 200 points. I was at 500 something. When I got done with those methods that I learned, YouTube anniversary, I was up at 7 something, close to 8. I'm so proud of myself. I am so proud of myself. I was diligent, guys. It can be done. Now I have, more things to learn about credit, but what I'm just so excited about is I learned. And even in depleting my credit score, the first year, because I bought this and bought that and got a credit card for this, I knew how and I know how to get my credit score up by myself. Oh my God, I'm so excited about that. Like, as they say in the hood, you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. No. But I'm excited to know that I can dictate, that I can change just about how I pay, my methods that I use. So that's one thing I did. I studied credit and I was able to get my credit score up tremendously. Okay, the 10th goal. So the first goal was I envisioned. The second thing I did, was I saved money. The third thing I did was I prayed. The fourth thing I did was I talked to a realtor. The fifth thing I did was I went out looking for properties. The sixth thing I did was I listened to advice and I saw the signs. The seventh thing I did was I started NACO. The eighth thing I did was I sat at the feet of other landlords and owners. The ninth thing I did was I studied credit. And the 10th thing I did was I moved. I acted on my goals. For instance, I envisioned. I saved money. That's acting, moving. I prayed. I talked to realtors. Not only did I talk to realtors, I researched. I went out looking for properties. That's I started envisioning, guys. I went from envisioning to looking for properties. I'm talking move, act on your goals. It's one thing to think about it, it's one thing to pray about it, it's one thing to To want it. It's one thing to get advice. It's one thing to sit at the feet of everything, but it's all of it is nothing and it's in vain if you don't move, if you don't act on your goals, if you don't do things. I went out and I looked for properties. I didn't care. I didn't even have a down payment. I don't even think I didn't even know about NACA when I started looking for properties. I didn't even know. I didn't even know about anything. I knew about first time home buyers credits, but there was a difference between a down payment and closing costs. I didn't know about that at the time. I just moved. I acted. I did it. All right. I started NACA. That's a home ownership program. It's also a program that's for people who is struggling with their current mortgage. I sat at the feet of other landlords. I went around and willingly went around with Elmira as she took me to their property. I was so excited about that. I know she was just like, I mean, she told me you always wanted to learn. I didn't just sit on my butt. I don't feel like going over here with her tenants. When I look like, is she just trying to get me to do this to help her out? And never thought of that at all. I was geeked. It made me feel like I was an owner for 5 seconds. Like she would go and collect rent and I'm right with her. Like amazing, right? I studied credit. I acted, I moved. I even changed my credit. I bumped my credit up. I acted, I moved. I moved. I acted on my goals. Faith without deeds is dead. Move. So, guys, that is my 10 things I did to get from Section 8 to property owner. I hope that this has helped you out. Now, I'm going to have plenty of videos upcoming. It's going to be different things I'm going to talk about on this journey that I went from Section 8 to property owner or Section 8 to landlord, right? Or Section 8 to the baby landlord, right? I think I'm a toddler now. Probably can't call myself a baby anymore. I'm the toddler landlord now. Okay. But or the property manager landlord. Whatever you want to call it. But I will still keep it at the baby landlord because I'm humble enough to learn. And even after my journey of becoming a property owner and a landlord, I still learn. I still sat at the feet of owners. I still did that. But if you don't act, if you don't move, it's all in vain. You're just a good person with good thoughts and dreams. So I'm excited to bring this to you. I hope it helps someone, especially those on Section 8 who feel like it's too far. It's not, I promise, it's not far. It's right where you need it to be. Pay attention to those signs and envision it. We subconsciously manifest stuff, don't even know it. And if you love and know God like I do, you better get your butt on top of there because He's going to always drop gems and signs and everything. Pray, save your money. Stop spending your money on frivolous things and outfits and Jordans and cars. And no, guys, play with that money later when you get your rent money. Look for properties, guys. Go out there and see what's out there. See what's on the market, right? Listen to advice and pay attention to signs. Well, after you've gotten all this advice, what do you see? What is God bringing forth for you to get? What is the sign here? Do I move? Do I go? Do I stay? Do I study? In my case, it was all of it, right? It wasn't stay. NACA, look to NACA, guys. They do not discriminate. They do not require down payment at all. They have everything for you. They have their own realtors. They have their own lenders. They have their own. It's literally a community, right? Sit at the feet of other people who are where you're trying to go. If it's property owner or a home versus a homeowner, talk to other homeowners. What's the good and the bad? What's the dirty? What's the clean? right? Study credit, please study credit. Even though NACA is a program you don't need credit, they do require that you at least get to understand or know your score. Study credit, you'd be shocked. You don't need all these extra, oh, I got to pay this much just to get my credit score down. No. Emma, act. I hope this has been helpful for you. This is the baby landlord, aka unique, aka the baby landlord. I am coming to you to help you understand even the fact that going from Section 8 to property owner is mental just as much as physical. But you can do it. I hope this helps someone. I hope this just really quenches your thirst of getting to that next level and advancing. And I pray for you. I pray for whatever journey you are. I hope this helps you if you're on a business journey trying to start your own business. I hope this helps you if you want to go from Section 8 to owning a home. I hope this helps you if you want to go from mom's house to establishing your own, going to college, your own, or going to work at a 9 to 5. I hope this helps you in any goal you're working on, anything that you're trying to manifest. I really do hope this hope helps you. And if it helped me, it could definitely help you. So, later, guys, I will talk to you all. Look forward to my next set of videos where I'm going to go a little deeper into more of my journey. And make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and hit the all, because then you'll see all my videos come through and you'll see many things. I got neighborhood tours on my channel. I have birthday times and shenanigans on my channel. I have everything. I have my eviction experience, which I'm going to elaborate on there, my first eviction experience. So allow me to be that person that gives you advice. Allow me to be that landlord who you sit at the feet of. Allow me to be that voice of reason. Allow me to be that um, model of what to do. And even we'll talk about what not to do. Because it wasn't all perfect. It wasn't all perfect. But now that I look back, it was very worth it. So thanks, guys. I appreciate you for stopping by to chat with me and listen to me and everything. And right now I'm rambling. So I'm about to go. Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Bye.